Well, hey guys, it is that time of the year. It's been a long time since we've done a video. In fact, the first time we've done a video live, and we've got a special guest, but we've got to introduce you to the host that does the most, starting with Mike, the crypto Cuban.
Yo, what is up, guys? So excited to be here with Aaron, man. Thank you so much for coming by. We're in love, man. We're in love. It's just straight up love right now we got for MSS.
Yeah.
I think your wife is concerned about you saying you're in love with Aaron too. Come on, we gotta be careful. Be careful. Hey, and your favorite uncle in the space, the one and only Uncle Rick. How you doing?
Yes. Listen, I am fired up. I'm ready to go. KK, like seriously, I just pounded an extra large pizza in about 5 minutes. I should be in a contest or something because I'll be ready to rock and roll with this. I can't listen. I don't know how anybody cannot be excited about what's going on here. And we're definitely going to get into all of it. We got a lot to cover today, and we got the man himself here to explain it all, to break it down, and then to really just kind of get us even more fired up as we continue to move forward.
Right on. And before we get into the man of the hour, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Kryptonite with Drip to Wealth, and I'm loving being in DeFi. This is the perfect time. If you're in crypto and you've had a very rough 3+ years in this space, running through Wreckville, and all of a sudden you run across this amazing project on BSC, which we're going to get into. The last few days have been extremely exciting for a lot of people, right? So let's get to it. Our special guest is the man himself. I know him as Crypto Aaron. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's been an exciting couple of days. Man, it's hard to sleep.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, listen, I've been saying it in the chats. MSS has cured our PTSD, but it's caused us insomnia, man, because this whole entire week has been intense. We've got, and it's not just me, obviously you guys as well, but there's a lot of people in the chats who are just like, man, I can't sleep. I can't sleep more than 2 or 3 hours. Can't stop looking at the charts. Can't stop looking at my staking, referrals and stuff. And listen, we hear you all. We feel you all. This has been a very exciting week for all of us. And, Aaron, like there's a lot still to come. But, we'll say this. We appreciate what you have given us already. Like this is a lot of work that you've already done. And as you can tell, and I've said this to you already, and I'll just say it on the air, like I'm genuinely happy for you that this is going well, because I know what a hard worker you are, right? I've seen your hard work in Bomb, and I guess we'll just get right into it. Sorry, KK, I know you probably had some fancy introduction for me, but
I can tell that's the whole point. You're super excited, and I think we want to make sure that everybody else understands why. So yeah, let's jump right into it.
Okay, so it was Sunday, driving home, cruising down the freeway, and my Telegram's blowing up, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? There's like 25 messages in the Bomb chat, like what's going on? And so I'm trying to look at it, and I'm driving, like I do, about 80 miles an hour. And, because I'm NASCAR, and I'm looking at this stuff. And then I get messages from a friend of ours, Brett, who's, a fellow warrior and longtime believer in Aaron and stuff, and supporter of Bomb. He's like, dude, you got to check this out. You got to check this out. Let me get home, and I'll read everything as soon as I get home. That was about 5 minutes away. But as they're messaging me, I almost sideswipe at least 2 or 3 cars on the way there, trying to still read this, because I'm starting to feel anxious, right? I'm like, oh, what's going on? What is Aaron doing now, right? What has he got building? Because if you guys don't know, and there might be a lot of you out there that might not be familiar with Aaron, and those that are will already know this. Hard worker, constantly wants to build for his projects, and is open-minded and is dedicated to making things work, right? So
cares about the community.
He cares about the community. So when I saw that something's being released, or it was released, I'm like, oh shit, I got to get home. I got to check and see what's going on. What is Aaron up to now? I get home, and I'm starting to read. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, is he really doing this? Right. And I'm like, and then Brett's blowing up my messenger. I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go. And so I'm in. Like, I'm like, if Aaron's doing something, I'm in. But here's the thing. And I had a chat last night in another group. Shout out to Moonshot Max and his group. And Max is one of the first ones as well. Somebody asked me, why did I get into it right away? Like, why did I just jump right in? Right. And there was a few key reasons. First, I knew of Aaron's reputation. Second, I knew of his work ethic. Third, I knew how solid Bomb Money was and all the upgrades and extra features he added to Bomb Money over the last year, this year alone. And then when I started reading about the referral system and the mechanics, I was like, I got to stop reading and just ape in, right? So when I got in, I think I was like number 40 or something like that, right?
Not financial advice. Just want to say that.
Not financial advice, but I was like number 14, 14 or 15, right? And Brett was right before me. And then as soon as I got in, I got that referral link. And believe me, Aaron, we're going to talk about this a little more later about the referral and stuff. But I got the referral link, and I swear to God, I went right down my entire Telegram messenger list. I was like, dude, you guys got to get in. You got to get in. Like, and I listed a few little things like why they should get in and stuff, because the message Aaron had was so, I had to summarize a little, right? So people would read it and be like, yeah, this is good. Get the little nuggets of information, right? So they would hop in right away. So I summarized it a little bit. I'm like, great dev, solid that, strong history, has been around for years. Like, this is someone you can believe in. And then I started telling people, like, this is finally a project we can get behind, right? And so, boom, one person signs up, another person signs up, another person signs up. And then before you know it, Moonshot Max is talking about it, and he's all excited and stuff. And other people are getting excited. And then, I mean, and Aaron can tell you too, like that, the first couple hours, it was, few dozen people maybe, but by Monday, holy crap, like things were starting to really pick up. And then obviously by today, it's been a nonstop party for like 3 days now, right?
Seriously.
So, Aaron, I basically summarized everything about Bomb for you. But I would like to
And that's the end of our live stream.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're done.
That's a wrap, guys. Let's go home.
Talking to you guys. But what I would like to set up for you and transition into MSS is this. So what lessons have you learned from Bomb and all that you've gone through with Bomb.money, that you feel you've brought with you to MSS that's going to help you succeed?
Well, I mean, I think it's, Bomb hitting 45 million TVL. Obviously, a lot of things were done right, and a lot of things happened just right for that, for that to be able to happen. And, I draw a lot of similarities between that and MintStakeShare. Just in, part of it comes down to luck. I'm not going to lie. It's having the right project at the right time on the right chain with the right mechanics, and, just getting the word out there the right way. And, a lot of those aspects, they happen with Bomb Money. I challenged myself one weekend to fork Tomb, because there was no Tomb forks at the time. And I said, I'm going to put it on a bigger chain. I'm going to peg to a better token than Phantom. I'm going to peg to Bitcoin. And, it just had the right ideas at the right time. Bull market was just, primed, and yeah, it just rocketed. Right. And, I think a lot of those same things are true here. So, as I was just kind of, not feeling the greatest because Bomb wasn't doing that great. And I was just building, and I was just thinking, okay, well, guys love drip, guys like the ROI dApps. And I was thinking, well, how can I make it better?
Yes.
Referrals is a great way to start. It's like,
Yes.
This thing moves with referrals. So I was like, how can I innovate on referrals? How can I just make it better? And also I was thinking, why is there limitations on referrals? Why aren't we not making referrals the very best we can make them? Why aren't other systems sending BNB straight to the wallets of the guys that are getting referrals? I don't see, since these are the guys that drive the growth and drive the movement, why are you not making it as best as you possibly can for these guys? And, so I just kept iterating on it and making changes and testing. And yeah, I mean, here we are with MintStakeShare, and I guess we'll get into some of the innovations, but the referral system is a huge part of it, especially with like the way it stores your referral address in the browser to make sure you get credit for it. And, just everything is geared towards making the experience as good as possible for those people that are sharing and getting more people on board.
Yeah, and before we dive deeper into some of those aspects and other stuff that we really want to share with the community today, like one of the things that I wanted to mention, one of our first videos we made, I gave you a shout out, Aaron, because I had an issue with something, I don't remember what it was, in BOM, and you were so quick to work with me on it to fix whatever the error was, the problem was, and I knew like at that moment, like here's a dev who actually cares that even an individual is succeeding or as at least having the best user experience he can have in this project. And so we gave you a shout out in that video because you showed it, like you proved you have integrity, and that is lacking in DeFi big time.
I think a lot of that comes from my entrepreneurial background, right? Like if you have a customer that is having issues, no matter how big your company is, like if you're the owner of the company and you see somebody needs your help, if nobody else is available to help them or is helping them, like what are you going to do? You can just watch from the sidelines while they're struggling? I mean, of course you're going to jump in and help, right? So it's just the same thing, right?
But it's a credit to you.
Not all devs do that,
Exactly.
Not all devs care that much.
Exactly. So
I agree on their behalf, but I mean, I like to help people, right? If somebody wants to get involved in my project, I'm going to do whatever I can to make it as smooth as I can for them. Right?
Perfect. And speaking of smooth and stuff, like KK, let's get rolling with some of these questions we have on, this amazing platform we're dealing with now.
Cool. Do you want to switch gears or get over to
yeah, let's do it. That's why people are here. They don't want to hear me rambling on and on.
I did. That was entertaining. All right, guys. So I'm headed over to it. Perfect. All right, so it's on the screen. Everyone can see it. Let's make sure we're good.
Yes.
All right, sweet. Okay, Rick, do you have a question for him, and then I'll follow up from there?
Well, one of the things that we've had a conversation about, Aaron, and I wanted to kind of highlight with a larger audience, because it was brought to my attention and I brought it to you and stuff. And this also goes back to kind of who you are as a person too. Your code, it's open source, and some people had concerns about forks and how that will affect, our beloved MSS. And your response was perfect. So if you can kind of summarize that. In fact, if you can get into like a William Wallace Braveheart type mindset and give us those comments again, it was perfect. Like I got fired up after what you said. I was ready to headbutt the screen.
I mean, I forget exactly what I said, but I mean, I don't believe in hiding code, right? I believe it, you got to verify things yourself. And that's one of the things that will instantly turn me off of another project is if they're trying to protect their code, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? I'm a strong believer in, having the code all being open and verifiable. So yeah, I mean, the token contract is fully verified. Just yesterday, somebody had mentioned that the staking contract wasn't verified. So I went through and I verified that. So that's fully open and available for people to see now as well. I think the reason for the early success we've had is, again, it's all the innovations. It's, all those right decisions of being on the right chain and having the right guys and having the right referral system and having all the right mechanics. And, it's the actual smart contract code is not, it's not revolutionary. It's just tying a lot of the right ideas together. Right. So I don't think there's, no matter how innovative the code is or revolutionary it is, I still think it needs to be open source in this space. Right. It's not right to, in crypto, that's how people verify, right? They look at code, right?
Well, and that sums up everything you said pretty much in our conversation was basically you got nothing to hide. And that is exactly what we want in our leader, right? The face of what we're doing, the guy that's leading the charge. Like we're on the battlefield, Aaron. Come on now. There's 1,000 of us ready. We're right behind you. We are marching towards success. We got free. Honestly, I wish we had the Braveheart clip right now because the part of the excitement is we're starting to feel that freedom, the freedom from the shit that we went through with DeFi for who knows how long, right?
At least 3 years.
3 years. But
Yeah.
who's counting? 3 years.
And Mike, KK, and I, we've talked about it a lot, about some of the ups and downs and the emotions of it all and some of the projects we believe in stuff. you have lit a fire in so many people. You can see that in the chat. You're getting OGs coming in. You're getting influencers coming in. You're getting people who are like, I'm never going to do an ROI DApp again. And look at that. They're like, this is the best ROI DApp ever. So I wanted to say, freedom!
Yeah.
Yo, I love it. Somebody's fired up. That's all I'm saying. Someone's fired up. Aaron, let me follow up on that one because that's a great point in terms of the open source code, because it seems like what's most important to you is transparency, right? You don't have
100%.
anything to hide. You want anyone interested in interacting with your smart contract to dig into the code if they understand how it works and how to read it, right? So I appreciate that. But then it also, just kind of flip it on its head, I'm also hearing that you're not necessarily overly concerned about competition, right? Because competition in itself sometimes breeds ingenuity, right? And the fact that it's open source, someone could potentially fork the code and maybe make some modifications to maybe improve on the contract itself. And I think that's okay, right? Because if you are genuinely concerned about the health, sustainability, and maybe changing people's lives in crypto and DeFi specifically, if they make some modifications that are slightly better than what you've innovated originally, you'll probably source some information from their code and improve on that. So for me, I'm comfortable with it. Competition is healthy. Leave the code open. You have nothing to hide.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that a lot of our innovations are not necessarily strictly with the smart contract, right? So a lot of the referral innovations are into our front end, which the way that it saves your wallet address to ensure you get credit, and some of the notifications that are showing up for minting and staking just to get other guys hyped. It's a lot of different things all combined that I think are building up to the success. So
I like this one. I got to leave this comment out. Look at this one. They can
I was
fork
just
the
about to say
code,
that.
but they can't fork Aaron. He's the man.
Yeah, Brett.
Shout out to Brett.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Brett.
the other thing I was going to say too is that if I recall correctly, Drip had its fair share of forks also, right? But Drip had all the momentum. Drip had all the communities behind it, and that's why Drip continued with its success compared to some of the other projects that try to just replicate. So I think we're the early mover with this. So I think we got all the momentum, and again, that's not easy to copy.
No, and I think that's great too.
Actually, something else. Sorry, one more thing real quick is so with Bomb Money, a lot of people said that the forks killed Bomb Money, and I think that actually is somewhat true, but it's a very different thing with Bomb Money, because in a Tomb fork, you have a variable APR that starts very high and then it dwindles with time. So when somebody forks you, if you're a couple months old and somebody forks you, now they got that high shiny APR and you start having money exit the system and go over there, right? That's not the case here. You have a fixed APR, and it's somebody can release this. They're just gonna have the same thing, but with less traction. It's not more attractive, right?
Very true.
So is there an exact APR associated with MSS?
I mean, right now it's just 2% daily, 1%. It gets cut in half for the collecting.
Okay.
The APR, I mean, as more you compound, of course, the more it's going to generate over the year. But
Yeah,
but not an actual advertised annual percentage rate. It's just 2% for compounds and 1% a day.
Well, I mean, it's basically just calculated out, extrapolated from a 2% per day.
Okay.
So,
yeah. To follow up with that real quick, you just touched on that, Aaron, and I know this is something that Moonshot, shout out to Moonshot, Max is in the chat, but damn, man, you just read my mind. You can't fork the community. We are building that community right now, right?
Yep.
We've got a strong community going. We got a lot of people that are excited and believing again. Yes, Miyagi. They're not going to fork our community or our freedom. So keeping with the theme of transparency and openness and stuff, Mike, is going to ask you a little bit about the audit and stuff. So go get him, Mike.
Yeah. So, I noticed in the chat that you had posted up that an audit came through. So I was just hoping you kind of briefly discuss with us what was on that audit and your reaction to it. Was everything expected? Was there anything that you didn't expect that was on there?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, the contract is one of the more intricate ones that I've, kind of built from scratch. So, I mean, I definitely wanted to get the audit. I was very confident in the contract myself, but you never know what the professional security guys are going to find. And yeah, I had paid for the audit a couple of days ago, and when I woke up this morning, I noticed that it had come in, and yeah, we're ready to share that with the community, post it up on the site. So the audit came back very clean. The two issues that they had are both non-issues, but we can go over them. So one of them is that external addresses can mint. There's two different addresses that are allowed to mint. One of them is the staking contract, which is obviously already set to our staking contract. And the second one is a token manager contract, which is just a zero address right now because that we're going to use that for the bridge once we get the bridge going. So I had to build that functionality in. So there is two potential addresses that can mint, but it's done in a proper way. So they just pretty much indicated that on the audit. And cool. And then for the taxes are adjustable, but the sell tax, I put the cap of the highest it could get set to 30%. And I guess they have some kind of rule where if you could set it higher than 25%, they flag that. So, I mean, I don't plan on changing that to anything near 30%, but just because it's possible, they flag that in the audit. So,
okay,
that was the extent of their concerns, which I was really happy with. So we'll get that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty clean to me.
Yeah.
Awesome. So one of the things that also attracted me, and I briefly mentioned in the beginning, that got me to ape in was DeFi D's is in the house.
Oh, D's, what up, D's?
So one of the things is the referral system, Aaron. I know you've talked about it a lot, and I think this is something that is really being overlooked, right? I don't think a lot of people understand the power of this referral system. And I'm not going to name anybody, right? I'm not going to point anybody out, even if they made a video recently or even if they're staying on the sidelines in another chat, whatever. I'm not going to point anybody out, but I will say this. Our referral system is amazing, right? And I've already benefited from it. And
Best in class, baby. Best in class.
Full transparency. I've benefited from being an early person into it, and it's amazing. It works beyond what I thought when I first got into this. So I wanted just to talk a little bit about it, a little more, Aaron. So I really want everybody to fully comprehend, like, even if they're not super excited about an ROI DApp, that they can understand that this referral system can still be financially beneficial to be a part of this community and the system and this platform. So one of the first things I would like to just kind of break down the minting referrals and the staking referrals, just to kind of go over. We've been getting a lot of new people coming into the chats and stuff too. So just to kind of go over, we'll start with minting. Like, how does that work specifically? How do they use somebody's link? The breakdown of percentage and stuff like that. And just so, and how many levels and like that. So if we can just kind of give a little overview, and then if you can emphasize where you see how this is very beneficial to, the user.
Yeah, so I mean, with minting, people use BNB to mint. And again, going back to what I said earlier, I wanted to make everything as optimal as I possibly could for the people that are sharing their links. So for people that are minting, the person that refers them is going to get BNB sent directly to their wallet. So you don't get paid in tokens; you get paid directly as a percentage of that BNB that gets used for minting. So your direct referral, he's going to get 5% BNB direct to your wallet when you're referring. And then there's also two more tiers. So it's a 3-tiered system. So if somebody that you're referring then refers somebody else, you're going to make money off all of their referrals. And then there's a 3rd tier as well to it. So, and the commission gets cut down in half each time. So it's 5% for direct, 2.5% for 2nd tier, and then 1.25% for 3rd tier.
I think you need to restate that one part again real quick. BNB directly to your wallet. Please tell me other referral systems where that goes directly to your wallet like that. Listen, somebody, sorry if I forget who it was, but someone made an image or mentioned it in the group. But it's like, I love waking up in the morning and looking at my Rabby wallet and seeing all these, BNB transactions coming into my wallet and seeing that go up. So, Aaron, I don't think I need that energy from you, man. Like, this is something to put the energy into. This is an amazing difference that we've seen from previous platforms to now.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, I wanted to make it as best as I could for people referring. So, what better way than putting a huge liquid crypto right into your wallet? right? It's as good as it gets. So
it doesn't get any better than that, honestly. Okay, so and that's
And you know what? Let's stay there for one quick sec,
yeah.
because I was actually talking through this yesterday. It'd be good to clarify. You don't necessarily need to either stake or mint to make a referral.
that's another thing, right? It's like, how do we get as many people as possible sharing this? Well, let's put the requirement to 0, right? You don't have to stake, you don't have to mint, you don't have to have ever participated in the system, and you can make referrals just like anybody else. So,
and that is unheard of in the
Yeah.
States, right? No skin in the
great.
game, which is rare. It's kind of like making a referral to a restaurant and you've never eaten there. It seems kind of odd, right? But you can actually do it, right? And
the restaurant's going to get more customers, right? So
that's very true.
This place has got great cheeseburgers. Trust me. Trust me.
Well, and that's the crazy part that you just brought up, KK, and we're touching on is how can you just sit on the sideline or fade this or be like, nah, I'm not going to do this, when all you have to do is just share your damn link. Like you're willing to do it for all these other shitty projects. Why can't you do it for a good one? Like, so, you're dealing with some stubborn, thick-headed people there.
Yeah.
But and I was going to get to that, KK. Thanks for jumping ahead, man. You went like 3 steps ahead there. You threw me off my game. No, but seriously, that's a big part of that's a big part of the referral system. That's one of the things that helps us stand out from the rest. That's one of the great things that rewards the users in this whole platform. The other thing, real quick, the staking, because sometimes I've seen people get a little confused. Like, what do they get for staking? How does the staking referrals work? Is there levels, et cetera, et cetera? Like, so if you can break that down real quick, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so I kept the percentage the same at 5%. So when you refer someone and they stake some tokens, it doesn't matter how they acquired them, you're going to get 5% into your staking position. Again, so somebody that you referred directly stakes, they stake 100 coins, you're going to get 5 directly added to your staking balance. So you're earning on that right away. There's no levels with staking, so it's just the direct referrals, but you're also making 5% on all compounds. Now, in terms of sustainability, I think that might be one area that maybe there needs to be an adjustment sooner than later, maybe down to 2.5 or something. But currently, it's at 5% for compounds, so pretty wild.
Say that again. I don't think they heard you.
When your direct referrals stake or compound, you're making 5% off either one. Right?
That's juicy.
But let's not refer people. Let's just act like, oh no, this doesn't even exist. Let's just forget this. Seriously, you've developed a fantastic referral system that in itself should be motivation enough. Forget about everything else, right? We're not even talking about dev history, dev work ethic, trustworthy, doxed, all that stuff, right? We're just talking referral system. Please, how does this not inspire people enough to not really? Yes, Aaron, we love the fact that you don't have a little dog barking around there too.
Oh, man.
That's great as well. Listen, you're going to get me off track, people. Come on. Anyhow, this referral system is amazing. I can't say enough good things. If anybody else has any questions about it in the Telegram chat or during YouTube, please just post your questions. If one of the admins can't, people, yes. Trust is hard to get back.
Let's just kind of form an opinion on that before we really get into the technicals, because that's a legit concern, right? So let's just throw that back up there for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It is a fact of life in DeFi, and that's the part that people have to really wrap their head around. Like, DeFi is probably the most riskiest asset class. It just is, right? Because we're dealing with light liquidity, and there's a few bad actors in this space that are just greedy, and they're really not interested in anything but stealing money from people that work really hard to earn it. And so if you've been burned enough times in the space and you have been generous enough to at least consider close friends and family to introduce them to a project, and unfortunately they lost money as well, you absolutely will be reluctant to make referrals, because you don't want people to lose any money, right? So here's what I said to someone who mentioned the same thing to me, because I was dragging my feet as well, right? Let's just be honest. I was dragging my feet. I was not interested at all in another RI DApp. Damn sure wasn't interested in bringing friends and family in something that they would lose money, because that stings. But here's the difference, right? I have made certain that I'm only dealing with, say it with me, risk capital, right? As hard as it is truly risk capital. And in most cases, it's a small amount of money. So if you happen to lose a small amount of money, it's less significant in your life. But if you're in DeFi, which all of us are because we're on this stream, you have to be open-minded to at least trying a specific DeFi project. That's why you're here.
And innovation goes forward, not backwards. You know, with any protocol that existed before this, we have all the data from beginning to end of what happened with that platform. What were the good things? What were the bad things? So we can learn from that. And I believe it really seems that we have with MSS. One of the biggest things that I like is, and Aaron, I would love for you to go over this in detail, the difference between minting MSS and buying. Because as far as comparison is concerned, everybody's going to be comparing this with Drip. It's whether it's intentional or not, it's just what's going to happen. One major difference is that in Drip, the only way to get the token, you could only buy it just by swapping BNB. And with MSS, you're minting, which is a very different mechanic in there. So I'd love for you to go over that so everybody understands.
Yeah, definitely. So something that, yeah, like I've explained in the chat many times is inflows, instead of going 100% towards swaps, which is strictly pushing the price up, which can kind of set you up for a dump in the future, because if you don't have thick liquidity and you got a price that's gone up 50x, I mean, it's not going to stay there very long. So we got an innovative system that with demand, so as the price increases, actually, let me start that over again. So basically we have a set price there's a price to mint the token, then obviously you have the swap price. Can we head over to the mint page actually, just so they can see what I'm talking about? So basically inflows get split between the swapping to the token and people minting the token, creating new tokens. When people are minting the token, 75% of that BNB is going immediately to add fresh liquidity. So instead of those inflows going to push the price up, which, I mean, in an ROI DApp, you could be just setting yourself up for a dump in the future because, you got a huge price appreciation. We have a lot of our inflows going straight to building liquidity as opposed to pushing the price up to favor stability, long-term sustainability, and, and a stable price, really, just so that people can make their money by staking instead of just, buying and hoping for it to go up another 100x or whatever. So, yeah. And because of the way that our minting system works, where, as the supply increases, the cost to mint increases. So if, for example, some people started selling and the swap price dropped, new inflows should be coming to the mint page and seeing, okay, it's cheaper to swap. So right now it's actually cheaper to mint. But if we started getting sold down a little bit, then it's going to become cheaper to swap. And so now inflows are going to go straight into pushing that price back up towards that mint price. So it's kind of like it directs the inflows based on, I guess, how healthy the price is relative to the minting price. And when it is healthy, you have the inflow split. So you're getting both.
So what you're saying is really what we're seeing with the MSS is we're just seeing a steady rise in the price with a thick cushion of liquidity that's under that, as opposed to just having a token that you can just buy, which if you could only buy this token, we'd probably be at like 30 cents by now. We'd be way up there. Yeah. But yeah, sure. And then of course, what's going to happen is people are going to dump because they've seen such an exponential rise. Here, the rise is just slow and steady, and you're kind of like stair stepping the price up, backing it up with liquidity. And that's something that we have not seen in an ROI DApp. So I that's one of the most impressive mechanics, in my opinion.
And some people might say, well, the token still did a 30 or 40x in the last couple of days. And well, yeah, I mean, everything that we said is true. Like the incoming funds are split between straight going to liquidity through minting and through, price appreciation with swaps. But when you have, a lot of inflows, it's still going to move the price fairly quick. So that's why we've seen the price appreciation we've had.
Excellent. All for it, man. All for it.
Well, and you touched a little bit on the thick liquidity part, and Mike wanted to break down with you. And this is something that a lot of people have been asking about and are worried about to a degree because of experiences before. And I know you've talked about this in the chats and stuff, Aaron, but we want to talk about, and really go over what this process is going to look like expanding to base.
Okay. Yeah. So in our roadmap, we mentioned that we're going to, be bridgeable to base. So a lot of people are concerned about that. And I think that's because a lot of projects do this the wrong way. So when people have seen this numerous times in the past, they see a kill in a project when they're doing well on one chain and they go launch on a second chain. And now that, splits their liquidity, their inflows, or, guys might be dumping on the first chain to go buy on the second chain. And none of that's going to be the case here. MSS is going to be bridgeable between the two chains. So the liquidity is shared instead of, split up and segmented between the chains. So the price on base is going to be set to very similar to whatever the price is on BNB chain at the time. And there's going to be an arbitrage situation, right? If one chain is cheaper, that's where new buyers should go, or put simply, people can just arbitrage between the two. They can buy on the cheaper one and go sell on the higher one. And, efficiencies in the market will keep those prices in line. So it's just really going to increase the audience, increase our liquidity. It's going to increase everything. It's not going to be negative in the way a lot of people are thinking, though. Because it seems a lot of projects are just trying to, I don't know, this is not going to sound great. They're trying to milk the community, right? They launch on one chain, it's going well. They're like, fuck, I should go launch on a second chain and get even more funds in, right? And they go do that, but it has nothing to do with their first token. They're not bridgeable. And that's where all the problems come in, of course.
Yeah. So this is essentially going to be just one, let's say, bank of liquidity that's then going to be correlating to two platforms. So you're not splitting liquidity, you're grouping liquidity together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look, our liquidity, it's all the dead address, right? So the BNB liquidity is solid. And so launching on base, anybody minting there is just going to be building up that base liquidity, right? And it's because the tokens are bridgeable, it just makes that cushion of liquidity one huge pool, essentially. Even though they are split between two chains, the token being bridgeable, it makes it all the same, basically. So for example, let's just say a huge whale wants to sell. They could split their tokens half and half and split and sell on each chain. And that way they wouldn't have as much price impact and they get better value if they were selling. Or if somebody wanted to buy a lot of tokens, they could split it up. And again, we're going to have such thick liquidity that I don't think that's going to ever be the case where someone's going to need to do that to help on the price impact. But just as an example, so people can understand maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And if we could, Aaron, because someone asked a question that probably ties into liquidity and potentially whales dumping. So I'm going to show this one on the screen if you don't mind addressing this question.
Any plans on implementing a whale tax if someone sells 1% or so of the total supply? At a point, early buyers will start dumping for real. Well, the token is not upgradable. So, if there's no whale tax in there right now, there's not going to be a whale tax. And pretty much as simple as that. If you look at the holders, nobody has more than 1% of the supply. Everybody's, most of the people have been smart enough that they want to stake and make their money that way. And it's not something that we built huge liquidity kind of to address that, as opposed to doing some of these other things that I'm not as fond of, like restrictions and things like that.
So what you're saying, Aaron, is going to base is not going to kill MSS, right? That's what you're telling us?
No, it's just going to expand the audience, expand the liquidity.
No,
there's zero reason to sell on BNB and buy on base. Like, to do that, you're just going to be losing money in taxes, and there's just going to be no advantage to that, right? It's going to be the same price across both.
Right. So a natural question to follow up to that, and one I've been asked before as well over this week. Do you have any ideas or visions down the road of maybe a third chain for MSS?
Yeah, definitely. Right. It's something where, like, the worst case scenario is you don't get a lot of action on the chain, right? That's the worst thing that can happen. It's not bad. It just won't be as beneficial as if you did get a lot of action there.
Well, yeah. KK, that was a good question, and it's something definitely somebody wants to know about, and they've been asking a lot. And I think this is a good part or good time to segue into the fact that, we are really trying to build a strong community, and we really do care about the input that the community has.
Yeah, I agree. So with that said, I've noticed, and I'll be curious if you've actually had a chance to do this, that just kind of joining the Telegram group, you guys have been really open to the ideas from the community, like the actual end users of the product. And accepting the feedback. Have you guys actually taken something from a community member and actually implemented it? And then a second follow-up question is, what have been some really good ideas that you guys are maybe considering?
I mean, like in the past, I've implemented all kinds of community suggestions. Even with MintStakeShare, somebody said, hey, add Trust Wallet or, add Rabby Wallet. And I was like, okay, 20 seconds later it's done. I mean, that's
Nice.
not a small thing, but, I am definitely open to hearing ideas of all kinds, even if I'm not crazy about it, I might get some spin on it that turns into something that's a good idea. Or, I'm definitely always open to hearing ideas. Although I will say, I mean, this project is just so new and there's a lot of important things that we got to focus on. Like, one of them is the website updates and, there's some key things that we need to keep our short-term focus on. So as much as I love hearing the ideas, it's, it can get a little bit overwhelming hearing, everybody tell you everything they want to see over the next year for the project. Right. But,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's good that at least you're pretty active in the Telegram group. And I know you've got a mastermind group that is, putting together a list of the ideas from the community. And you guys probably sift through it and figure out what works best for the overall project. So the fact that you're open-minded is the point we wanted to emphasize for sure.
Yeah. And I just want to say that, like, I want to put everyone's mind at ease that, what we have right now is working. So any changes are going to be extremely well thought out. There's going to be a lot of discussion before anything's done. Nothing drastic is going to change. Nothing's going to change overnight. Nothing of that nature. So, everybody that's loving the platform right now, it's going to stay true to its core. So just really want no one to worry about that.
Agreed.
No, and that's a great segue into the next part, the ideas and what we have now. I think it's important that, we need to continue just working on the little things that we've discussed or Aaron has identified that he wants to fix with the site, continue to build a community and stuff like that. But I wanted to, kind of allow people to get a little more hopium and start talking just a little bit, give a little glimpse to the fact that with some of these ideas, right, we've been exploring them further, right? We've been talking and just informally weighing some pros and cons of what we're talking about and stuff.
I don't think it's the right time to do that. I don't want to talk about potential big changes. That's not the right thing.
No, not big changes. We're not.
A lot of these ideas are
Yeah.
Let's skip on that one.
Yeah. And well,
I mean, there's been a lot of great ideas, but I mean, a lot of them do involve significant changes or mechanical changes, right? So it's something where, it's in our future.
And that's, once something is a little more solid, I'm sure we'll come back to it and discuss it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the picture. I'm trying to get people to understand the perspective here. Like, we can't change something a year from now, 6 months from now, right now, right? There's steps to get to that point.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to focus on right now. But listen,
and
one
thing I want to say though is, like, a lot of people are giving suggestions to fix problems that we don't have, right?
Exactly.
Just because another project had a problem doesn't mean that that's a problem that we're going to have, right? So you got to come into this with a fresh mind, a fresh perspective, right? Like, I came up with all these innovations while I was just working by myself. I didn't even run these ideas by anybody, right? I'm just building it. I try it. I'm like, that could be a little bit better. I iterate on it, change it. And, I came up with all this stuff myself, right? So it's something where, you don't want to take a past trauma and start making decisions based on that, right?
Thank you.
You don't want to blame your ex. You don't want to blame your new girlfriend for your ex-girlfriend's problems.
Yeah.
Well, what if we got a couple girlfriends there, Mike? Then what do we do?
Oh, well, I mean, no one's like you, man. I'm sure you got a ton of them down the line, bro.
And that's exactly and Aaron, you hit the nail on the head, and you've said it many times to us in the chats, but I wanted to make sure that it was out there so everybody can hear the fact that yes, we're not oblivious to the future, right? But we can't fix problems that don't even exist yet, right? We're trying to focus on what we got right now, fix the little things that we want to fix right now, to make whatever adjustments we want to make right now, and to build a community, right? I don't think that can be stated enough. Like, the community is a driving force for any project, and especially what we got going here. Part of the reason that people are so excited is because we're getting those good community vibes again, right?
I mean, it's getting me pumped up, that's for sure.
I love it. And so, KK, I'm setting you up with the softball here because, I wanted to talk about some of the things we talked about and stuff, but I really wanted to talk about the announcement we wanted to make today. One of the announcements we wanted to make today. I think the few things here that Aaron's already discussed were some of the announcements I wanted to get across. But our community announcement, KK, so if you can share with our fellow family members.
Yeah, let me find where that is. Is that in our TG?
It's in our TG right above the outline.
Actually, while you find that, I'll just say that in terms of the audit, we'll share that with the community and the TG, and I'll get that up on the website as soon as I'm off the AMA, just so everybody's got access to that. We'll put a nice TG bot command for that too.
And Aaron, I actually had one question that you kind of brought up something interesting. It's that you basically did this all by yourself. You kind of did all the testing, the research, the coding, like all by yourself. And now you have, basically a pretty good sized team of community members that are like trying to help you in any way that they possibly can. Is this the same experience that you had when you were developing Bomb Money, or is this better than what you did?
In terms of development, they're both very similar in that I built them both just sitting on the computer by myself and just getting things done and making decisions that luckily turned out to be the right decisions in both cases. But yeah, and in terms of the community, back with Bomb and with MintStakeShare, everybody, they just want to help as much as they can because they see the potential, right? It's people are working for their own bags, right? It's, you get in right now, your bag's going to be looking even nicer next week, and you're going to be wanting to help on the team too, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You guys see the potential and they just want to make sure it succeeds. So it's a beautiful thing to see.
Excellent. For sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up here, Rick, and let me see if you guys can see it really quick because I want to make sure that I don't spoil it for everybody. So let's do this here. One second. I think I'm going to have to share my entire window. So let me do that.
Are we going to have a countdown for 3 minutes?
No. What do you see on the screen now, my friend?
Well, that was 3 seconds. That wasn't 3 minutes. Good job.
Right
there.
See it.
We're good.
Sweet. All right.
We're good.
Wait, go up to the graphic, man. You got to show the best part.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
There
Let me
we
blow
go.
this thing up first so you can see the graphic, and then we'll get to the meat of the announcement for sure. Who put that graphic together?
That'd be yours truly, of course.
That's what I kind of figured. That's
Mike's been doing a great job providing graphics for us, and
happy to do it, man.
That looks good. MSS, steak and bake. All right, let's get to it. All right, Rick, so what's the details about this special announcement? Let's get to it, my friend.
All right, so one of the things we really want to do, like I've been really emphasizing in this, our get together here today, and then other things in the Telegram group and stuff we've been emphasizing as well, is community, right? And so one of the things we want to do to really get the community even more fired up, even more excited, participating, sharing, just all that good stuff, right? Is we're going to have this, what we like to call a steak and bake contest, okay? And we got we got the details on the screen right now, and we're definitely going to share it in the group and stuff. And believe me, everybody's going to have enough time to get in on this. Everybody's going to have enough time to read and process everything, okay? So we just want to go over a little bit right now and let everybody know we're putting together our first official MSS contest. It's our first community contest here. And this contest involves adding or making new stakes, right? If you're not already in the stake, make a new one. If you're already in, add another one, right? And so the goal here is, as you can see on the screen, we've got different prizes, right? The largest stake, the second largest stake, third largest stake. Now, I know before people start going crazy and, attacking us virtually and stuff like that, listen, we've also thought about the small fish too, right? It's not just the whale. It's not just the people that's going to be putting the big stake. That is part of it. But we also have 2 wild card stakes, okay? That means anybody other than the top 3 largest stakers will qualify for this one of these 2 wildcard spots. And this will be done randomly from the information below, how you post your information and stuff in the chat. And we'll get to that in a second. But the 2 wildcard stakes, anybody who meets the qualification, small fish, medium fish, big fish, whatever you want to call it, little well, big well, you have a chance to win this as long as you did not win one of the largest stakes, first, second, or third. Right? Makes sense? Questions, KK or Mike?
I just want to point out that the prize is in USDT, and it's not in the MSS token, and it's not in BNB. It is just cash, basically.
Yes, and that's great because that's what I wanted to get to next. So the contest basically starts now, right? We're going to get all the information into the TG chat. You can see it on the screen. We'll make sure everybody has a chance. This is going to run for a week. This is going to run to next Friday, right? And we're going to keep track of everybody's entries and stuff, and to make sure, you know, 1 entry per person. And you can see there'll be the details in the screen and in the chat room. But basically, what we want to see is people staking, and we want to see who's going to win. And unfortunately, we're disqualified from this contest because I wanted that $750. I'm telling you, I'm eating my pizza as we're doing this. I'm thinking about how many more pizza parties I could have with that money and stuff like that. I'm thinking how I can grow my stake with that, right? My stake, which I'm not going to get into, it's a very impressive stake on MSS. That money could go to that to put me in higher. So I'm pretty excited here. Aaron, I think this is a great idea. I think we're on the right track with really rewarding our community for being active in our community, for participating in the platform. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Referrals is a way to participate, right? And some people don't want to do it. But this is another way to participate in terms of, you know, it's the minimum requirement is 0.1 BNB. That means majority of people should be able to get into this contest. And if that's the case, it's going to be exciting as we go on this next week and see who ends up winning. I'm excited for it. I just wish I could be a part of it, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, definitely open to using funds to, you know, reward the community. And, you know, something else I wanted to get into is that, you know, even though we're growing exponentially, I still think it's going to be a good idea to, you know, do various, you know, marketing campaigns and, you know, kind of put fuel on the fire to, you know, get it growing even faster. So,
well, and exactly. Like, we haven't gotten to that part yet, too. But I think, yeah, I swear, Moonshot, get out of my head, Moonshot.
We're vibing right now.
Seriously, though, like, this is just the beginning, right, Aaron? Like, we haven't even gone deep into marketing or anything like that. We're still putting together some of these plans. We're looking at potential options for more marketing, for more marketing communities and stuff like that. This is just to start with our community. This contest is a way to reward what we're building already, to excite people already, and to get people active into the staking platform. I mean, who doesn't want a chance at not only compounding 2% a day and using your referrals and stuff, but winning $750 in USDT? So that is one way to market to our community and reward our community. But there are other plans. The plans just don't stop there, guys. Like, this is a step-by-step process. And believe me, we got a lot of great ideas for the community. We got a lot of great ideas for the platform. It just takes time to execute some of these steps. So I don't want us to get too far ahead on things like you mentioned before. But in terms of what Max just asked, did you want to touch a little bit on marketing moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. Let me drop a little more alpha, unplanned alpha.
You heard it here first, folks. Heard it here first.
Yeah, so we have updates in the works for the website, right? So I would have already tried this if our website was in a little bit better shape, but you know, we're going to be trying ads across different platforms. You know, I think when guys see what's going on here, it's gonna really accelerate the movement of the whole platform in terms of, you know, market cap and everything. So all we got to do is just get that website to the point where the first impression that someone gets when they arrive is going to be a better first impression. And once that's the case, you know, there's various ways that we're going to get our links out there and, you know, get a lot more traffic to the website. So that's in the very, very near future. So stuff like deck screener ads, you know, I'm going to play around with some Google AdWords and, you know, see what to target there and, you know, all kinds of different ways to drive traffic. So if you guys think things are moving quick now, just, you know,
and I think
not even a week old yet, man. Not
we're
even
even
a week old.
We're on day 5. And the great thing here is this, what you just shared, Aaron, like, and this is what I touched on a little bit earlier, is hopium. Like, people like to know that there's future plans, whether, some people like to go too far. Yeah, Aaron is a mature thinker. We agree. Some people like to go too far ahead, but a glimpse into the immediate future, there is more marketing plans. There is more effort to build this even more. It's going to gain even more traction. It's going to gain even more eyeballs. And the excitement we have right now, it's just going to be a fraction of what's to come.
If you're in right now before the marketing has even really begun, oh my goodness, you're blessed. I mean, this is a great spot to be in right now, man. Great spot to be in.
Yes.
Thanks for the comments, guys.
There's a lot of them. When we get them a lot in the chat too, Aaron, and we try and make sure everybody doesn't inundate you, because we need our dev to be Devin, right? We don't need them to answer the 3,000 TG comments and questions and, oh, you got the most amazing marketing proposal from whatever country you're from, right? So, in that regards, hit up the admins for that. In terms of Aaron being busy, like, you guys want to see him make, these progress and stuff, that takes time. So we got to let the man do his thing. In regards to that, Mike, we wanted to touch a little bit because this is coming up a lot, but our closing thoughts today, and then not only that, more specifically, learning from our predecessors.
Yeah. So let me see. Where were we? Okay. So yeah, I guess we kind of touched on this just a tiny bit of the comparison that people are going to make between MSS and Drip. But are there certain things that perhaps you've learned? I know you're not super caught up in exactly the mechanics of how Drip work, but now that you've kind of come into the space, we've given you a little bit of education kind of on how Drip worked. Is there anything that kind of stands out to you that Drip or that's improved on in MSS in comparison to Drip?
Yeah. So, I think, Drip did so many things so well that, I didn't want to change aspects of Drip that I felt were successful. And that's why, people are drawing, similarities between the two platforms, because, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I did keep a lot of things similar to, for example, the referral system, for example, the, just the way that staking works, or, I just tried to improve things how I could improve them, but while keeping those core beautiful mechanics, intact, basically.
Yeah, sure. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then if it is broke, fix it.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Great, man. Dude, Aaron, thanks so much for coming on here, dude. This has been incredible. I hope we've given a lot of enlightenment to all of our viewers out there right now. I know there were a lot of people that were kind of on the fence about MSS, but I hope we kind of answered your questions, addressed any concerns that you guys had. And again, man, Aaron, you've done a great job so far, man. And we're just looking forward to the future and working together to make that future bright for everybody.
Well, thanks for having me. And, obviously it's the, you guys and the community, it's all a team effort, right? We're all on the same team, and we're all on the team to get MSS to the moon, and let's all do it together. And great work, everyone, so far.
By the time we're done, Aaron, I'm going to be Uncle Breezy.
Let's see. I want to make sure we got any questions from the
Sure.
crew before we let them out of here. Let's just go through.
This is one of the best pizza Fridays I've ever had.
True that.
Oh, looks like we got a video chat going in our MintStakeShare TG.
Got one from Gary. Will you use bomb money marketing to cycle into MSS, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so they're essentially standalone projects, so I think that's not something to worry about. MSS has got all the resources that it needs for success, so to make it happen.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think we got through all the questions. I appreciate that. Yeah, good stuff, guys.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having me, and again, props to the community for everything you guys are doing to get the word out, and let's get it.
Onward and upward.
That's all it is. We need people to get the word out. And for all those people who don't necessarily have a desire to be a content creator or some type of influencer, the small things matter. right? So anytime someone does make a video or post a tweet, just do that. Actually like, subscribe, share it, leave a comment. That way we can begin to scale and put the brand out there, because that's what's really going to make it grow. Like Aaron has done his job. It's up to the community to really build the brand.
Well,
And it's
I still got a lot more to do as well, but yes, you know, we all got our work ahead of us.
right on.
Aaron, I don't know if there's ever a time where you're going to say, I've done everything I need to do. You are a machine. Dude, your insomnia is as bad as mine, if not worse. I know if I'm awake at 2 or 3 in the morning, Aaron's going to be awake at 2 or 3 in the morning, Devin. We got a great dev, people. We got a great dev. We got a great project. Listen, everybody check out the TG. Let's get into this steak and bake contest. Let's see who the winners are going to be in a week. Aaron, listen, dude, we appreciate you. We thank you for what you got going on. And we're excited about what we're building here. This is going to be a really, really fun time for everybody involved.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see it play out.
All right, everybody. That's it. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, throw on the bell notification. More to come. Take care, everyone.
Peace
Yeah,
out, guys.